Hello, welcome to Pardon My Vlog for the 21st of August. Yes, that is the date. So, this is just going to be a light little vlog because, yeah, I'm not in the mood for a serious conversation. So I just thought I'd tell you what I've been up to then. A follow on from Dan's vlog last week where he showed us one of his board games. So I've been obsessing over a number of things this week. First of all, I've gotten into Welcome to Night Vale. I know I'm many years late to this bandwagon, but I love this show so much. I just finished the first season and it's great. It's Stephen King meets Lovecraft and George Carlin, if you've ever read any of his books. I've read most of the Carlin books and they're really good. So yeah, that's worth checking out. I highly recommend Welcome to the Night Vale. So some of the storylines, brilliant. I kind of want to do my own version of it. I'm sure many other people have and who just haven't really done it, but you know, I've stolen other ideas. Everything I do on this side is a stolen idea. Yeah, every time. Well, the folk is Dan's idea, so it's technically not stolen, I think. Don't know any other show that does that. Certainly not as much as we have. I have looked into other YouTube channels through a couple of subscribers, and I think we're the only people really doing it, which is kind of cool. So people who watch this, if you have friends who like myth videos, please share us about, because I think that's our strongest series. Yeah, so share that out. Oh yes, subscribers, we're up to 10. That's good. You know, only one of it's really 9 because Dan's a contributor, but you know, I like that. You know, it's we've worked hard these last few months and we're getting regular views. Dan also than I, which I find interesting. I'd like it if we got more feedback from you guys, but I'm not going to pester you to comment and rate and subscribe. That's not what we do here. We're just providing entertainment as best we can at this time of night. What else have I been doing this week? Oh yes, this week I read my 80th book this year. So this year I started recording every book I read because I was tired of going, well, how many books have I read this year? So I've just kept a little Google document of every book I've read, the date I read them, and how much I enjoyed them. Now, some books like Mongolian Folk Tales, From Here to Infinity, I haven't rated, and that's because they're either sort of non-fiction. This one was a collection of essays. This is obviously a collection of folk tales, though that is fiction, I guess. But it's not a traditional story or collection of short stories. Though, no, I haven't. I didn't rate collections of short stories like The King in Yellow. Though I could have rated those because they're all very self-contained. Wow, that was a few months ago. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I didn't come across some really good books this year. I tend to get stuck into one author for a while, as you can see from reading a lot of Pratchett books. Yeah, that's a lot of Pratchett. Yeah. No, that's a lot of Pratchett. So, but yeah, I've read a lot of good books this year. And to be honest, 80 kind of disappointed me. I enjoyed Power Set, but there's a difference about, well, this was written in 2006, this was written in 93. So real difference in the quality of writing from the author. I'm not sure how early in Ben Bova's career was, but Empire Builders was really quite disappointing compared to Power Set. Now I know it's only a 1-point difference in my scoring. I think there's only one book here I rated as a 9. But you know, 5 it's bearable. You know, it has moments, but it's not particularly good. 6 is it's enjoyable. But while this was a far more gripping book, it was also quite boring at times. This was just sort of while more generally entertaining, a far lower quality. Though I'm very loose with my scoring. Like, Call of Cthulhu's was given a 5 simply because of the Lovecraft books I read in those couple of days. It was the weakest, which is weird because the only 9 I've given is Hitchhikers, which admittedly I've read maybe 10 times. Though this was the first time I listened to it on an audiobook. It was Stephen Fry reading it, which is apt, given he was a good friend of Douglas Adams. I actually lost my physical copy of. I have the Hitchhiker's Trilogy of 4. I had it as a single book and have done since I was in my early teens. I gave it to an American girl I lived with. I wonder if I'll get it back one day. If not, no worries. I know she'll enjoy it. She was a lovely girl. Also gave her one of my hats. Though my favourite new find of the year has to be David Wong books. This book is full of spiders. And where did I read it? John dies at the end. Though I rated them both the same, interestingly enough. In fact, John dies at the end was the first time I ever drew fan art of someone. I don't normally do fan art and that kind of stuff, but the character of John, I wanted to draw because he was just so amazing. To fight a demon, he decided the best way to battle it was to duct tape a Bible to a baseball bat. Wonderful. So yeah, 80 books thus far. And I've still got a couple of days to go, of this month. So I'll probably be up to maybe 84 by the end of the month. That'll be nice. I seem to be on par for sort of 10 a month, book-wise. Which I'm wondering if I can push up average to maybe 12. Because that's always the upper limit of how many books do you read in a year type thing, or how many books in a month do you read. 10 to 12 is the higher bracket, or 15 plus if it's a real book lover's site. So anyway, what else have I been doing this week? Yes, Fallout Shelter. I started playing Fallout Shelter on Android. I don't normally play Android games. There's a reason for this. It makes me want to tap a vein. Because, they're so addictive. And I'm a traditional gamer. I don't want to wait real time for stuff. It's not in me. So, and this is exactly what it is. It's a Skinner box. It's designed to buy those launch boxes to get those additional caps to upgrade it. Is very much a factor. And I haven't caved thus far. I've been good. But on other games I've played like this, I've caved, and I've caved bad. I'm not going to say which games, because that would embarrass me. But, yeah. Otherwise, it's a really nicely done game, and I would love this to be repackaged and done as a PC game. Reduce the time elements from real time to pseudo game time. So I think it's a minute per hour or something. Remove the purchasing option of the lunchboxes and such, and just simply have them be drops and perhaps more regular quest rewards. And I think you can only get Mr. Handy by buying him, so maybe have him as a reward from the Wasteland. And that would be a really, really good, small strategy game. I would love that. You wouldn't even have to ramp up the graphics that much. I know there are ways to play it on the PC. So I'm playing it on a tablet. I initially started on my phone, but that is way too small for my clunky fingers. Though I actually have relatively slim fingers, so it's weird because you have to move. It's a bit like the Lemmings or all those kind of games where you sort of drag and move your person from one room to another, or Dungeon Keeper, a good example of this type of game. And I find that very tricky. Sort of, very difficult to grip them, and I think having a mouse would make that so much easier. But what are you going to do? Well, play it on Chrome, I suppose. But I couldn't be bothered to sort all that out. So yeah, I really enjoy the game. Give it a try. So now on to the second segment. Like Dan talked about last week in his game, I want to share with you one of my favourites. Now, me and Dan really like board games. When we both lived in Ludlow with our other friends, who you'll probably meet at some point on this channel, we played a lot of board games. And I mean a lot of board games. Now, I'm not very good at them. Like, I'm not very good at games. Because I don't really have the patience to read rules, yet I love RPGs. I really love tabletop RPGs, and those books sort of this thing. It's like, I'll have a bunch down there. Maybe I'll do a vlog about that next. And because of the different players we have, I'm very much the outlier in not liking to read rules. So, in fact, one of the games we bought our friend Ben, Mage Knight, came with about a 100-page rulebook. He was so happy. We only ever played one game, as far as I know. Whereas the game I'm going to show you today is perfect for me because it's just one page. Now that's a bit much. This is Exit, as you can probably see. My favourite board game. It is simple and a delight to play. It's the game I'll get out when I have people around. I'll get it out to play because I think it's a good way to get to know people better. So that's the amount of rules you have to learn. And wait, no, there's 2 pages. So a bit much, but I think most of these are sort of variant rules. Really fucking easy. Also, it is adorable. The game is really, really simple. You have a deck of cards, which have gorgeous illustrations. I'll put them up on the screen. And each player has them in their hand. I think it's a hand of 5, which you draw each turn. It's best to play with 4 players, I find. Each turn, whoever's turn it is, they're called the storyteller. So they can say a phrase, do a gesture, draw a picture, whatever, tell us a short story about their card. Then every other player picks a card from their hand that they think matches that card and puts it face down in the centre. Then the storyteller picks all the cards together, including the one they told the story about, shuffles them, places them on the table, face down, and reveals them. So normally the way I do it is I repeat the thing with each reveal of the card, so it's in the players' minds. And then the players bet on which one they think is the storyteller's card, and they get points based on that. It's basically sort of a betting game, but there's some real sort of psychology you can get into, so because you have to really think about what the person you're playing thinks about. So if you're gaming with someone who's really into art, I've played this with a range of people, so the references can get really obscure and esoteric. This is a game for me where I'm always scrambling for Shakespeare quotes, or some manner of book quote. You have to sort of game think. So to score, what you want to do is say a phrase that not everyone will understand, but that no one will understand. So only some of the players. If all the players pick your card or none of them do, you get no points and they'll get 2. If one or more, but not all, pick your card, then you and those players get 3 points. So it's a really tricky balance of judging your audience as well as coming up with a interesting and fun story to go with it. I mean, there's other narrative-driven games that I've played, and they can be quite interesting. But this one is so you can get such esoteric ideas out there in this one. That's why I like it. Also, you use adorable rabbit meeple. The game ends when you run out of cards. It's really good. So I suggest everyone goes out and picks it up. Thank you for watching this week. I hope you all have a good weekend.